Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Imagine being told to sit still and focus and complete a timed test while your brain is racing in 10 different directions. This is not an occasional struggle, this is the daily life for a child with ADHD. In fact, Melissa Danielson and her co-authors in an article called ADHD Prevalence Among U.S. Children and Adolescents in 2022 report that approximately 11% of school-aged children currently are diagnosed with ADHD. That makes ADHD one of the most prevalent neurodevelopmental disorders in the United States today. This issue doesn't just impact individual students, this affects the quality of education as a whole and the futures of millions of young people. As someone who has ADHD myself and has raised 3 sons with this condition, I've seen both firsthand how these challenges are created for students and the simple changes that can make a huge difference in their educational journey. Students with ADHD deserve a tailored support to succeed just like any other student, whether they have a learning difference or not. Today I'm going to walk you through 3 key points. Firstly, understanding ADHD is a complex, persistent condition. Second, exploring how simple, practical strategies create success. And third, showing how universal accommodations promote fairness and engagement for all students. First, let's talk about what ADHD really is. To begin with, it's not just a phase or fleeting behavioral problem. It's not a behavioral problem at all. It is a lifelong, complex neurodevelopmental disorder that impacts individuals in diverse and profound ways. According to Kate Harrington, in her article in The Conversation in 2024, ADHD presents unique challenges because the brains of these individuals actually function differently. It affects attention, impulse control, and executive functioning. However, and this is the important part, Harrington emphasizes that ADHD is highly treatable with the proper interventions, not just medications, but correct interventions for these children. It shows that ADHD isn't just about occasional distraction or energy burst. It's rooted in a neurological difference that require targeted ongoing support, not blame, and certainly not punishment. These children are the way they are because that's the way they are. In short, ADHD's complex condition demands consistent understanding and action, but with proper support, students with ADHD can absolutely thrive in an educational environment. Second, supporting students with ADHD doesn't have to be overwhelming or expensive. Moreover, research shows that simple, accessible strategies can make a big difference in the learning experiences of these students. The CDC recommends approaches like minimizing distractions, offering structured choices, maintaining clear schedules, and building regular breaks. All strategies that cost almost nothing to implement. All of these can be implemented in the classroom already. Additionally, organizations like CHAD, which is the Children and Adults with Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, provides resources such as Attention Struggles for Students with ADHD. It's a simple infographic which suggests easy tools like timers, visual cues, strategic seating, and movement breaks. This tells us that teachers already have this ability. They already have the tools they need to easily integrate this into their existing routines. These straightforward strategies not only boost academic performance, but build students' confidence, reduce anxiety, and create a classroom where students feel seen, heard, and valued. In short, small shifts in approach can have huge impacts for students with ADHD and for many others. Third, implementing ADHD accommodations universally creates fairness and boosts academic engagement for everyone. Furthermore, adopting ADHD-friendly strategies across the entire classroom fosters a stronger, more inclusive learning environment. Linda Piffner's meta-analysis found that consistent interventions led to moderate to large improvements in academic performance, especially when applied consistency in a structured school environment. Supporting students with ADHD through tools like flexible seating, visual aids, predictable routines benefit all learners, English language learners, students with anxiety, and students who simply thrive under a greater structured stability, all gain from these practices. When we universally implement ADHD accommodations, we aren't just helping one group. We're building classrooms that respect and support the diverse ways that all students learn. In summary, universal design, making accommodations the norm rather than the exception, promotes equity, improves engagement, and opens the door to academic success for all students. In conclusion, creating supportive classrooms for students with ADHD isn't just possible, it's essential. Today, we talked about how ADHD is persistent, a complex condition, how simple strategies can dramatically improve outcomes, and how universal accommodations can uplift all students. When we take the time to understand ADHD, implement practical strategies, embrace inclusive teaching methods, and build stronger, fairer educational environments for all students, we build stronger students. As advocates, whether you're teachers, administrators, policymakers, or parents, you have the opportunity and responsibility to make learning accessible and meaningful for all children. As someone living with ADHD who has raised 3 sons with varying degrees of ADHD, I can tell you this: small, thoughtful changes spark extraordinary success. The solutions are simple, the costs are low, but the potential is endless. Let's advocate for building classrooms where every brain, no matter how it works, has a chance to shine.